Welcome to our Wellness Wednesday Health Show. I'm your host, Dr. H. Colley Hewlett from the Back Pain and Sciatica Center of Texas, where we offer regenerative pain solutions. And I'm at a very unique place today here in Conroe with our special guest, Bill Torgan of Conroe Life Changes. Bill, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Kyle.
Now, Bill, what is your specialty?
My specialty is hypnosis. People look at hypnosis and think the best thing for it is quitting smoking. And that's true, but it does an awful lot more. Quitting smoking is probably the thing that's known most for it because it's very effective. People think that their cravings are caused by nicotine because nicotine is an addictive chemical. But the thing that you have to remember about hypnosis and smoking is that your cravings for smoking are driven by your emotions, not from the nicotine. Well, nicotine is an addictive chemical. It leaves the body in 24 hours.
So what you found...
72 hours, 24.
It's what you're saying, it's more of, the nicotine is addictive, yes, but you're saying even more powerful than that is more of just the brain, the emotional connection of, this is something I want.
Absolutely. Your habits are created by emotions. And what hypnosis does is it's very safe, it's very holistic, very relaxing. And in a super relaxed state, your subconscious is more open to positive suggestion. So you can release those emotions that drive your habits and drive your cravings and drive your behavior. And you can then act intelligently instead of emotionally. You act from your intellect rather than your emotions.
You talk about your subconscious, which I think is so powerful. And I've seen different research, and sometimes people say 80, 90, 95% of what we do daily, our subconscious mind is actually in control. You know, it's like when someone's going home after work and they're supposed to pick up dry cleaning or go to the grocery store, but they don't do it. They go straight home. Who's driving the car?
That's a form of hypnosis.
It's that the subconscious, right, is driving.
The thing is, the conscious is slow, it's linear, it can only do one thing at a time. The subconscious is fast, it can multitask. Mm-hmm. So what happens is, you're driving along, your conscious is saying, I'm going to go stop at the store and pick some item up. And then all of a sudden your conscious says, you know, someone said something to me, what if I'd have replied with, and next thing you know, you've driven by the store. Mm-hmm. That happens to everybody. That's a form of self-hypnosis. Mm-hmm. So we use terms in hypnosis like trance and sleep, but that describes what it looks like, not what it actually is. What hypnosis actually is an altered state of consciousness. You're really just super relaxed. You're always awake and aware. And some people are afraid they might say something under hypnosis that would give away some deep, dark secret.
I think most of us, when we hear hypnosis, one of the first things we go is maybe like a show or a comedy, a movie we've seen. You want to talk about that briefly and how, what is different from...
Good question.
What you're talking about here.
Yeah, good question. What happens is a lot of people only know about hypnosis from what they see on TV or a stage show. But a stage show is designed for entertainment, and the hypnotist will pick those people out that are really wanting to engage in that activity. And even then, you'll notice that a stage hypnotist will have a bunch of people on stage and will dismiss some. And those that they dismiss from the stage are those that are either non-compliant or trying to fake it, which is the same effect. And so it's real hypnosis. But it's people saying, pick me, I want to be a part of this, and they really want to do this. The same thing is true for a habit you want to change. If you're in my chair to quit smoking, and I say to you, okay, now I want you to stand up on one leg and cluck like a chicken, first thing that happened would be your eyes would pop open, you look at me like, what are you, some kind of nut? Because it's not congruent to what you're there for. The subconscious, when you're really relaxed, is only open to positive suggestions that you want.
As opposed to someone at one of these shows who their intent in going on stage is, part of them wants to do something silly, get attention, and that makes sense. Okay. Now, I know we've been talking about smoking, and it's cool back here you have a large container, and I'm assuming these are from people you've helped.
Yeah, a lot of people that come to me to quit smoking smoke their last one before they get into my office, but some that don't. And when they have cigarettes with them, I ask them to put them on my desk. We go through the session. At the end of the session, I tell them they're free to take their cigarettes with them and go, or they can drop the cigarettes in the jar. and most will just drop that cigarette in the jar because they're done. And what's interesting about it is usually just one session. One session. Someone who's been smoking pack and a half, 2 packs a day will come out of my office after one session and say, that's it. They have no cravings after the session, and they don't get them later because they're emotion driven, and we release those causes for those emotions so that the people can then say, I don't have to smoke.
I love that, and it's so true. Human behaviors, we act on emotion and we back it up with logic. Everything we do is emotionally based, right? The clothes we wear, the color shirts we wear,
That's right.
the cars we drive, who we marry, the friends we have.
And things are triggered. For instance, I have a weight loss client that might sit there and watch their favorite television show, which gives them a form of pleasure. Then they turn around and they grab a bag of potato chips and they start munching on those potato chips. It's not long before the two are put together and they can't watch their TV show without craving those potato chips.
Okay. And so you mentioned weight loss now. Is that something else that on a subconscious level you find a strong connection to?
Yeah, weight loss is probably one of the hardest things I do under hypnosis, simply because it's a modification. You can't just make someone stop eating. So it's a modification of behavior rather than just quitting something. One of the things I really love to do is fears.
Okay.
Someone who is afraid of something, generally one session, bang, and that's it.
Okay.
They're over the fear.
So let's say we had someone who, and this is someone that I know personally, right? We won't disclose their name, but they were in a skiing accident.
Yes.
Right, where they actually skied into a tree,
Hmm?
right? Got some road rash on their face.
That's what Sonny Bono died, you know.
They did. That is right. And since then, they have been terrified to do anything similar.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just almost an irrational fear. Is that something that this would be able to?
The thing to remember about fear is not necessarily bad. Fear keeps us safe.
Okay.
But there's a difference between fear and an unreasonable fear. To give you an example would be someone who is afraid of a snake. Well, maybe you don't want to go pet a snake. But what if you have that same fear of that snake if you see it on television or if you see it in a terrarium?
It creates that same response on a
That's
TV
right.
screen.
Then it becomes an unreasonable fear, and especially if the fear interferes with your life. I'll give you another example. I had a client that came to me because he had a fear of heights. He had a fear of driving over a bridge.
Okay.
And that affected his life because as a technician, he had to travel over the Ship Channel Bridge in Houston.
Okay.
And he would drive miles out of his way to avoid that.
Okay.
It was affecting his work, affecting his life. And one session, he then could drive over that bridge with no problem.
So it goes back to tapping into that subconscious.
That's right.
Whether it's addictions, emotional addictions to smoking, to overeating, to irrational fears. Very powerful.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's very powerful. This is almost, I want to say, like one of the best kept secrets when it comes to changing behaviors.
It is. And you see things like, for instance, there'll be medications that are prescribed for quit smoking, say, like Chantix or something like that. And if you ever watch those ads, it says Chantix to quit smoking has been proven effective along with support, and that support being counseling or whatever else.
You know.
Is that mine?
Yeah. That's all right. It's all right. You're good. Stop. So, I've heard this years back, and I've shared it with so many patients. You cannot medicate your way out of a lifestyle problem. Yeah. And so we can't medicate our way out of an addiction or an emotional problem.
Yeah. Many times medications are used simply to treat symptoms rather than causes. Functional medicine is more about treating cause than it is about treating a symptom.
And functional medicine, that's really we've reached a tipping point. It's been around for quite some time, but the old models, I call it, was all about temporary relief through medication.
Right.
And let me give you some temporary relief of whatever the symptom, whatever the problem seemed to be. Take this pill, it'll help you for 4 to 6 hours.
And it's a form of hypnosis. The ad companies, a form of hypnosis. They say, okay, you have a headache? Aspirin.
We've been programmed, right?
That's right. You've been definitely programmed. So we've been programmed on medications by the pharmacies the same way that we were programmed years ago with the Marlboro Man or with these other Joe Camel or these other icons for smokers.
You know, I was reading something recently, and this was written back in the 1920s, and it said, very similar to what we're talking about now, that marketing and advertisements in the media will control the behavior of a population.
Yes.
And just everything that's happened recently, you really see that. But commercials are a good example of, if you think you have a problem, ask your doctor if this is right.
On the plus side, many people are waking up to that, and that they are refusing to just be programmed. They're refusing to just say whatever they hear and see is right. They have to do a little research on their own.
So on that functional medicine, right? So that was the old model. And the new model, like some people are realizing, hey, wait a minute, this old model, I'm just taking pill after pill. It's not actually changing anything, except now I have multiple pills in my medicine cabinet. The new model's about functional medicine. Hey, let's get to the cause of this. Why am I smoking? Why do I overeat even though I know it's not healthy for me? Why do I have this irrational fear of driving over a bridge when a million cars do it every day?
You know, it's interesting. I keep going back to smoking simply because it's such a dynamic that's quick. Emotions cause these type of things. For instance, when you are, women will come to me and say, you know what? If I'm afraid, if I quit smoking, I'll gain weight. And that may be true if you're quitting cold turkey, simply because you're substituting one habit for another. Say, okay, well, I want a cigarette. No, instead I'm going to have this food. With hypnosis, that's not the case, because it's not about substitution. It's about releasing. So you don't have that situation.
So if I had to summarize just in my own words, what you really do here is you're reprogramming the subconscious to a more healthier behavior.
A better way probably to put it would be, I'm allowing you to reprogram your own self.
Okay, allowing, so helping someone reprogram their own subconscious to a behavior which they desire, like I desire to stop smoking, I desire to drive over the bridge.
All hypnosis is self-hypnosis. I'm nothing but a guide.
Okay, very cool, very, very cool. Now, Bill, if someone's watching today and they're wanting to stop smoking, wanting help, like I said, tapping into their subconscious and helping that, or with weight loss, or with fears, or with stress and anxiety,
even
pain patterns.
But I will see people for pain only on physician referral.
Okay. What is the best way for someone to connect with you?
The best way to connect with me is probably my website, which is ConroeLifeChanges.com.
Okay.
And by going onto that website, you can book an appointment, and you can book an appointment either through my main office here or at Transmed.
Okay.
I have an office in Transmed where I see clients on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Excellent. So ConroeLifeChanges.com. All the info's there. Schedule online.
Right.
Sounds very user friendly.
It is.
And this location right here is near the downtown Conroe area.
I'm about 3 blocks from City Hall.
Okay. So easy to find, easy access.
Right.
And the new Transmed Health Center is just off 336 South Loop, close to the hospital. It's actually where we're going to be moving our clinic as well in the next few months.
Right.
So, Bill, thank you for being here with us today and sharing some of this wonderful information. We hope you guys found value in that, and I definitely will look at hypnosis in a different manner now. Okay. And maybe referring some people your way definitely that come to mind that have some of these things we've talked about today.
Absolutely.
As always, be well, and we'll see y'all next week.